If you're looking for your next highbrow drama to binge, look no further. Industry Season 3 is here. HBO just knows what it's doing. When it comes to prestige television, no one can match the network. With an elite roster of great-looking shows filled with sharp dialogue and tense twists and turns. Among the list of the best TV shows from HBO, including House of the Dragon, Succession, and True Detective, you can now add Industry, a British-American collaboration centered on the world of investment banking. After the Lumi power outage in Episode 2, a tense silence falls. But things are chaotic at Pierpoint. Eric tries to inspire his little finance gurus to make gold out of straw as the phones start ringing loudly. The story today is not the debt profile. It's the growth trajectory. However, everyone is aware of this. Lumi is failing miserably. Yasmin is preoccupied with a call from Autumn Austin, reminding her about their promised lunch from last week's episode. But Sweet Pea, who is never one to pass up good gossip, even if it comes at an awkward moment, gossips to her about her friend's date with Lumi's CEO Henry Muck. For Yas, that extra strain turns out to be a turning point. She almost passes out on the trading floor as she slides out of her desk chair due to overwhelm. Eric is not very sympathetic. He tells her, "This is as good as it gets." You know what makes a phone ring worse than anything else? Stillness. Is it possible for this stock to close over 480? Show yourself out the door if you are unable to manage it. Eric is not a patient parent. Yasmin picks up the phone again, but it's Harper's future Dawn boss Anna Gearing who asks whether Pierpoint overpaid for Lumi. Yasmin brushes off Anna's worries, but it doesn't quiet the commotion around her. Before the Pierpoint team eventually gets in line, Bill Adler himself has to stand down from the C-suite, increase market maker Rishi's risk limit, and advise his staff to find a bit of poise. Eric freezes, realizing that Bill's interference is not good for his own self-control. Muck, meanwhile, is unable to acknowledge the truth of his disaster. He establishes a war room in the Lumi offices to deal with their PR disaster. To Robert's dismay, he chooses to invite reporters for video interviews. The interviews proceed almost exactly as Rob had anticipated, and before long, the Lumi stock is falling even more, which sends Rishi and company into complete disarray. This is how our knave society decided to raise capital. It's not my fault. Muck bemoans as he flings a plush sunflower against Lumi's kids' play area wall. Considering that Rob is a member of the working class population that would be directly touched by Lumi's failings, he has had enough of watching Muck. He yells at Muck, "Your losses are yours, and your wins are yours. They belong to someone else." Then, in a hilarious turn of events, Rob tries to choke Muck with a stuffed sunflower as the two men wrestle among the playroom's primary-colored beanbags and kindergarten toys. Before he actually kills anyone, Rob storms out of the Lumi offices. However, on his way down the block, he gets a call from his lover Venetia, asking why Rob vanished last night. As you may remember, sad Mr. Spearing was paying a visit to the residence of Nicole Craig, who passed away not long after they had an affair. After Venetia apologizes for giving him the necklace, Rob discovers to his horror that he left it in Nicole's backyard. They'll want to go pick up that small piece of evidence unless he wants the police to come after him. However, while trying to accomplish this, he runs across Nicole's 15-year-old daughter, who wants to connect with him over their shared struggles as mothers and surprise. Wants to have sex with him as well. By now, we should all be aware that there is no such thing as a well-adjusted human being in the industry. Rob's and Pierpoint's anxiety intensifies when Muck confronts his board of directors, who have utterly lost faith in their CEO. When they make it obvious that they want to remove him, Muck actually backs out of the conference room and flees. He then takes a 3-day dose of psilocybin and locks himself in a bathroom. Unsure of how to move forward, Rob brings in the major guns, Yasmin Karahanani. For better or worse, she's experienced in managing a child of a wealthy man. From outside the restroom, she gives Muck the order to be courteous. "Look directly at me." Fearful, Muck's training takes over and he opens the door. Yas then engages in a rather graceful game of chess with an affluent boy. She sets up a meeting between Autumn Austin and Gregory Clark of British Electric at a gentleman's club on St. James's Street for Muck and Rob. Following that, she calls a newspaper and gives its reporters information that Yasmin, Charles and Annie's daughter, was seen on St. James's Street. Her plan is flawless. Reporters emerge from the club at the same moment that Muck, Rob, Austin, and Clark leave together. Yas offers the perfect opportunity for a photo op as she invites the men to shake hands. As the pictures spread, people's perceptions of Lumi change. if the company's CEO is seen shook hands with a high-ranking official from British Electric, then a takeover may be on the horizon. After the market settles, Pierpoint launches Lumi in a safe manner to cap off the day. However, the festivities at Future Dawn are happening in the midst of a coup. Despite Eric calling Future Dawn 9 times in an attempt to persuade the company not to hire the young prodigy following her dismissal from Pierpoint in Season 2, Petra has shown interest in Harper. Petra informs Harper, "So, he doesn't want anyone else to have you, or he really can't stand you." If the latter is accurate, Petra seems to think Harper must be an incredible traitor. Based only on her intuition, she divulges to Harper her desire to hedge Future Dawn's exposure to the Lumi IPO, thereby working behind Anna's back. Subsequently, Petra requests that Harper refer her to a naive and amenable Pierpoint staffer, who may assist her with the previously discussed hedging. Harper answers right away, "Kara Hanani Yasmin." Sure enough, Yasmin accepts the bait when Petra calls her to carry out Harper's recommended strategies. It seems that only Eric notices anything weird. Why does Future Dawn now trading credit default swap protection associated with names related to oil and natural gas? If you don't understand what that statement means, don't worry about the specifics of the money. Just know that, in light of Lumi's near implosion, Eric feels that Harper's insider information is at play. Anna agrees as well. Enraged by the fresh transaction confirmation she just received, she storms into Petra's office. Anna finds it hard to accept Petra's betrayal. She yells, "You took me to the hospital while I was giving birth. You are Bodis's godmother." The fact that Anna, the crunchy parent who evangelizes ESG, has a daughter called Bodhisattva. In a matter of seconds, it provides you with all the information you require about a very small figure. Delectable. Petra deserves credit for her equally astute response. "I was invited to be your godmother. How did I proceed? Say no." It makes sense that Harper recognizes herself in this harsh portfolio manager. Then, once Petra has given up her glass-walled office, Harper has the audacity to sit at her desk, demonstrating the absolute limits of her conceit. Taking Petra's phone, she calls Eric. Harper simply breathes softly into the mouthpiece as he responds, saying nothing. Eric, though, must recognize her. Later on, Petra confides in Harper that she wishes to collaborate with someone whose ideas aren't limited by the conventional wisdom of the day. She must, however, be able to trust Harper if she is to work with her, and believe that Harper won't enjoy swindling her previous employer as much as she did earlier that day. Eric, on the other hand, has stated emphatically that he does not want another Harper on his desk. Yasmin looks to him for a well done, eager for recognition after he saved the Lumi IPO, but Eric cautions her against engaging in such market manipulation in the future. Yasmin, who is constantly seeking approval, is thrilled, frustrated, tired, and needs no convincing when she answers Muck's surprise call. When he invites her to supper, he tells her that he persuaded his uncle, media magnate Lord Norton, to rue the story titled Embezzler Harris that featured her. Yasmin chooses to use her limited means of power manipulation to express her gratitude to Muck. She asks him to go into the restaurant restroom with her. "Observe myself," she insists, locking eyes with him in the mirror. "Look at you now." This will never occur for that reason. However, she remembers a crucial detail from Sweet Pea's rumors earlier in the day. Muck is kinky and, well, he kind of likes Pea. Muck smiles wickedly as Yasmin struts over to the restrooms and proceeds to urinate. Before anything more awkward can happen between them, he departs the restaurant and the restroom, but he leaves an exceptionally rare bottle of wine for Yas to take home. She bangs it against the restaurant's curb. As though there wasn't enough drama in one episode already, we finally get a flashback to Yasmin's journey on the Hanani yacht. Yasmin learns from Charles that the Hanani publishing empire is in peril, and that he would have to face criminal charges if he goes back to London. Yas is enraged with him for bringing her into it. They get into an argument. He throws a glass of wine in her face. She spits on him. He is adamant that she will always cling to him. Yas tells Harper not to cry as they conclude the episode on the yacht deck. However, it appears from Yasmin's cries that something significant has occurred that we haven't had the opportunity to witness.